G'day everyone, welcome back to the final video before round 11 lockout. Sorry it's so late, I literally only just got home from work and tried to pump this out, so it'll be a quick one just so it's out just before the deadline. Just my final team thoughts heading into the round. So got these three trades pretty well locked in. They've been locked in for most of the week. I've talked about them in most of my videos. Marzu to Fletcher Sharp today, so that one's locked in because they both play for the Knights, which is the first game. Then Yo for Hosking. Yo's the one I want to trade the most, and Hosking's the one I want in the most. Cleary for Tarpany is the last one. I'll only reverse that if I desperately have to, like if the first player on my bench, who is Tallis Duncan, actually I'm not even going to loop, so I could have Yongi at the top, but if my loop option does well, then I can potentially reverse that, but Yongi would have to score like a 60 plus in order for that to happen, because pretty set with those trades, and I want three trades locked in next week as well, which I'll talk about in a sec. I really wanted to get Herbie Farnworth in this week. I've tried to make it work so many times. On the way home from work, I was scattering my brain to see what combinations I could come up with, who that third trade should be, because I don't desperately want Sharp, but I think he works best for my loop options before next round and during next round, depending on results. Have to go with Sharp. He's got a lower break even than Herbie as well. I plan to get Herbie in next week, even though he has a bye in round 13. Again, I'll get into that in a sec. But they're my three trades. Nothing has changed too much. It was pretty simple what I was going to do. This has decided to glitch out, of course. Captaining May this week. He was always going to be my captain. I think they have a bit of a softer game. Who do they verse? They verse the Rabbitohs in the last game. Think he'll do well. Plays 80 minutes or close to. And the fact that he's been snubbed for Origin this week, I think he'll be a really good captaincy option. He's probably a bit fired up, which will be good. I assume most people will be on him for similar reasons. So I assume he would be 75% plus captained in the top 1,000, which we'll find out after the first game lockout lifts. That's all from that. I'll probably switch Yongi and Tallis Duncan because Tallis Duncan plays the last game. I am forced into playing Kartonga and Riley Smith with these trades. Not too concerned. There was no way I wasn't getting out of playing Kartonga, even if I did get Herbie, I don't think, because he's probably a better option than Yongi, Toya, Savala, and Tallis Duncan. So, that was part of my reasoning why I didn't end up going with Herbie, because I probably would have been playing Kartonga anyway. Those three trades mean I have no loop option, which kind of sucks. But I could trade out a Munster, but he has a 35 break even, and he could easily outscore whatever my loop option does. And he's really the only one I could trade otherwise. Horsburgh's another one, but there's a small chance he misses out on Origin, so I don't want to be left in the dust if he does. So just going to have to trade out my three guys not playing this week. Wouldn't necessarily recommend it if you don't have a loop option. I think a loop is better, especially with these guys who are all so up and down. But just going to ride with it. Hopefully my choices are good in Riley Smith and Kartonga over any of the other guys. I could even play a Savala over Kartonga, but with Sanders Smith back, he loses goal kicking, loses a couple of kick meters in game. So pretty happy with my choices. Kartonga over Toya for me, just because they verse the Knights. He could sneak over for a try, and the Bulldogs is a bit tougher for Toya. So, that's it from the trades aspect. Just talking about next week. So the reason Sharp gives me so much flexibility is mainly because of his duel. So I can use him to loop Yongi because the Yongi plays first. I just have Drinkwater up there. And also he can loop Savala. Technically, it would require me to change one of my trades that I'm thinking about. I can't remember off the top of my head which one, but I could get Fogarty in, who plays after Savala, and then Sharp comes in to wing a fullback instead of half, or vice versa. So I've got so many options getting Sharp in. He can loop Yongi and, again, technically Savala, even though he plays before Savala. I'll be looping my half, centre, and winger fullback next week. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got plan to get 15 players for next week. I do have to get Nafahu White, which I don't love. I do prefer Max King, McInnes, AFB potentially, but I just don't think the difference is massive I think if McInnes misses out on Origin, I might change plans a little bit. But for now, Nafahu White's a lot cheaper. He allows me to get Kiraz if he misses Origin, and Herbie, which is awesome. So, yeah, really happy with that. As you can see, it would require I have 294k in the bank, and it would require 271k. So, got a bit of flexibility. Their current break-evens aren't too bad. Horse probably loses a bit of money. Munster probably makes a bit. And Tamale, I think he has the Titans this week, so hopefully he makes money. But worst case, I pivot from that. And then Nafahu White, Herbie, both have pretty standard break-evens, and Kiraz probably makes a bit of money. So it could be tight. I'm hoping with the 23k flexibility, I should be okay to do them. If Kiraz is making Origin, I'm not too concerned. Because I don't really want Tedesco, so I can get Fogarty instead of Kiraz, who's probably going to be a similar price. So then I can loop Savala. It would mean I have to play Iongi, which is what I've been desperately trying to avoid. So I might pivot to Tedesco in the end. But yeah, I'll have heaps of options on the board. They won't necessarily be decided for me after this round. The only thing that will be decided is the money. It's going to be super dependent on scores during round 12. So Iongi score, Savala score, Kartonga score. Because if Kartonga scores well, I can trade out Toya because I don't need to score next week, and he would make a bit more money, so he'd be priced above Tamale, and then I can use Iongi and Tamale as a loop. So fingers crossed Kartonga scores well, and then that solves a lot of my problems. Fingers crossed Savala scores well, because then I don't need to get in Fogarty and I don't need to loop Sharp up there. So yeah, heaps of options on the board. I'll explain this more in depth after round 11 when we have a more clear picture. But yeah, just something to think about. I've harped on all week about wanting to making sure you're aware of your round 12 loop options and what that means for this week's trades. And yeah, that's what it means for me. Hopefully it sort of makes sense with a little bit of a visual and me talking about it briefly. But yeah, I'm trying to rush through this so I can get it out before lockout. But yeah, that's all from me. Good luck with your trades. Good luck in round 11, and hopefully round 12 is a blessing for you when it comes around. See ya.